To begin this tutorial, we will expand the right view. Then we will go to the Curve tab. We will use the Circle command to create a circle, enabling grid snap. Using the viewport grid as a reference, we will count 10 squares along the Z-axis. In the command bar, make sure the radius option is visible so we know we are using the diameter. Now type 5.5 millimeters in the command bar, then hold the Shift key and click on the right side to create the circle. Right-click to repeat the command and create another circle 10 squares away from the central axis. This time, type 1.7 millimeters for the diameter, then hold Shift and click on the right side to create it. I will switch to the shaded display mode. I will also select both circles and move them to another layer for better visibility. Still in the Curve tab, I will use the Blend Curve command. I will select the left side of the lower curve and then the left side of the upper curve. In the pop-up window, I will change the continuity mode to tangency. If the points are inverted, I can flip the one that needs it. Then I will zoom in and adjust the tangency point slightly above the center of the circle. I will also adjust the lower part so it aligns exactly with the center of the circle. Now I can press OK to create the curve. I will select the new curve, go to the Transform tab, and use the Mirror command. I will click on the center of the viewport, then, while holding Shift, click on the top to create a second curve. I will select all curves and click on Trim in the upper left. I will cut away the curves we do not need, in this case, the inner curves, both at the top and bottom. Now that we have only the outer curves, I will return to the Curve tab. I will use the Line command with Grid Snap On to create a vertical line crossing the curves. I will select all curves again and use Trim to cut the right-hand side. I will select the curves on the left side and click Join in the upper left. Make sure the curve ends touch the central line, checking both ends. Once checked, I will select the left curve and use the Offset command, setting the distance to 0.7 millimeters. Click on the right side to create an inner curve at 0.7 millimeters. Show the 4 viewports again. Go to the Surface tab and use the Revolve command. First, I will select the outer curve, then the inner curve, and press Enter, or right-click. In the command bar, it asks for an axis to revolve around, so I will use the vertical line as the axis, clicking first on the top point and then the bottom point. It now asks for an angle, and for this case, we will use 360 degrees. I will press Enter. I can now use Pan, Zoom, and Rotate, then use Zoom Extents All to center the model in all views. We now have our solid created. I will select both the solid and the curve, then click on Trim. From the right view, I will click on the solid to cut it, using the vertical line as the cutting element. I will click until everything on the right side is removed. After cutting, we can see an open surface. Maximize the perspective view to see the model better. I will select the 2 outer surfaces and use Join to unite them, then do the same for the inner surfaces. Select the outer surface, go to the Solid tab, and click on the Cap command to close it. Use Extract Surface to remove the cap we just created. In the command bar, I will make sure the copy option is set to No, so it extracts the original surface. Next, I will select the extracted surface and also the internal surface. I will click on Trim and cut away the inner part of the extracted surface, keeping the edges intact. We can now delete the vertical line as we no longer need it. Select everything and click Join to unite it all into a closed solid. Now we have the base of our model finished. To select the surface edges, press Ctrl plus Shift. Then, with the gumball, I will click on the small sphere, type 0.2 millimeters, and create an extrusion. I will use Extract Surface to take the outer surface of the solid. In the command bar, I will change the copy option to Yes, so we create another surface. Then I will select the 4 lower parts of the model. Without deselecting, click Join to create a single surface and optionally move it to another layer for better control and visualization. To add the gems, go to the Diamond tab and use the Automatic Pave command. Add the extracted surface to the surface selector. Choose a gem size of 1.3 millimeters and add a row of gems along the central part. I will take my time, removing or moving gems as needed to adjust them. Using the front view can make this easier. Once the line is done, I will select all gems and lock them so they do not move. I will then enable vertical symmetry and run the automatic function. Once the command has finished computing, switch back to the 4 viewports. Focus only on one side, adding more gems where the area looks sparse. You can also resize certain gems to fit better. Take your time to add all the gems you need, and remember to press Compute so they automatically readjust as you add new gems. Add another gem size, in this case 1 millimeter, can be added to make placement easier. After pressing Compute, the gems adjust automatically. Once the arrangement looks right, accept the command. Select the gems, press the middle mouse button, and use Ungroup. On the side that was not adjusted, select the gems using the central gem row as a reference, and delete them. To select the gems, type Cell Mesh in the command bar, then while holding Control, select only the central line of gems to remove them from the selection. Now you can go to the Transform tab and use the Mirror command. Using the central point of the surface as reference, hold Shift and click on the right side to copy the gems over, creating a symmetrical pavé. Go to the Diamonds tab and run the Automatic Pavé command again. Add the surface once more, then add the gems to the second selector. Enable the Gem Visualization mode. In the Prongs tab, adjust the parameters. Set the diameter to 0.6 millimeters, the overgirdle to 0.3 millimeters, the undergirdle to 0.5 millimeters, and the manufacturing extension to 0.3 millimeters. Enable vertical symmetry and click Automatic Generation. Once the computation finishes, adjust the borders manually, adding or removing prongs as needed, and changing their diameter until the result matches the desired look. Once you finish editing the prongs, press right-click to finish. Open the Cutters tab and activate the cutters. In the inner part of the model, overlapping cutters may be visible. To fix this, reduce the height drill to 175 mm and click Update, then accept the command. Hide the layer containing the extracted surface. In the Solid tab, use Boolean difference. Select the solid and the prongs by right-clicking the layer color, press Enter or right-click to accept, then select the cutters and press Enter again to process the Boolean operation. This will cut the solid with the cutters. If the command bar shows the option to keep the cutting elements, select the unused ones and either move them to another layer or delete them. Show the gems again. To continue, go to the Curve tab. From the right view, create a line starting from the top of the model. Click to set the start point, type 2.542 mm in the command bar, and while holding Shift, click at the top. Once the line is ready, go to the Diamonds tab and use the Studio command to create a gem with a diameter of 2.5 mm. Click to add a gem to a point, placing it at the top point of the curve from the front view. Then go to the Transform tab, select the Move command, and move the gem so that the culet is positioned at the top point of the curve. Accept the command. From the Perspective view, select the gem, and in the Diamonds tab use the Basket command. Without selecting any preset, click on Edit. Adjust several parameters. Change the diameter to 0.8 mm. Then go to the Rails tab and deactivate the upper rail. Go back to the Prongs tab and continue editing the parameters. Change the height to 2.70 mm. Keep the bottom diameter at 0.8 mm. Change the prong mode to straight. Then go to the Rails tab and first change the profile. In the Assets tab, select Profile 004 and accept it. Set the width to 0.6 mm. Adjust the slider to 74 so that the basket is straight. We will keep changing and adjusting parameters in both the Prongs and Rails tabs to adapt the model to our liking. Returning to the Prongs tab, adjust the overgirdle to 0.10 mm to fit the basket to the gem. Set the rail height to 1.70 mm. Go back to the Prongs tab and lower the height to 2.30 mm. Reduce the rail height slightly more to 1.50 mm. Then raise the prongs to 2.10 mm so they fit the gem better. Show all views again, change the gem inside value to 0.10 mm. Then in the Rails tab, set the slider to 91 so it is straight again. You can keep adjusting the parameters until the basket is exactly how you like it. It looks perfect now, so accept the command to finish it. Create the connecting rings between the basket and the teardrop by going to the Curve tab and using the Circle command. Using the OSNAP options, choose a point between the basket and the model. While holding Shift, create a circle that crosses both elements. Go to the Solid tab and use the Pipe command. Type 0.25 to create the pipe and press Enter. Now the first ring is created. If the Record History option is active, select Update Children. You can scale the circle uniformly by holding Shift, and the pipe will adapt to the curve. Using the gumball, hold Alt and click on the circle from the top view to rotate it 90 degrees, creating a copy of the element. Adjust the position of the rings. Using the ghosted display mode and the right view to position them correctly. Align them to the end of the lower rail. From the front view, adjust the position of both rings so the upper one does not intersect with the teardrop. Also raise the basket and the gem so the ring does not touch the gem. Zoom in to align these elements precisely. If in the outliner the basket or another element appears in a different color, click Update. Select the rings, go to the Transform tab, and use the Mirror command. With OSNAP active, select the right end of the basket and then the opposite end to create a copy at the top. From the perspective view, adjust the basket and gem along the Y-axis so the rings are more or less centered on the basket rail. To finish the model, go to the Accessories tab and use the Bail command. For this model, use the asset BL016 and edit it. Change the inner distance to 6 mm and accept. Rotating it 90 degrees, position the bail at the top and use the different views to align it. Once in place, the model is almost complete. Go to the Curve tab and use the Extract IsoCurve command. Using the OSNAP guides, extract the isocurve in the U direction, which can be changed in the command bar if needed. When the mid option appears, click to create an isocurve exactly in the center. Select this curve, go to the Diamonds tab, and use the Advanced Gems on Curve command. Add the curve to the selector, and then the surface. Adjust the parameters, adding 6 gems. Keep the start size at 1.5 mm and set the end size to 1.05 mm. Using the upper gumball, adjust the starting position of the gems by lowering it slightly. Once positioned, accept the command, then select the gems and use the Dynamic Prongs command, adding the gems to the selector. Adjust the parameters, setting the diameter to 0.5 mm, the overgirdle to 0.40 mm, the undergirdle to 0.60 mm, and the extension for manufacturing to 0.3 mm. Enable symmetry in X, and make sure the selector contains the surface with the gems. Add the prongs to the model, starting with the inner ones. For the lower ones, reduce the diameter to 0.40 mm. For the upper one, use a diameter of 0.50 mm. When everything is ready, accept the command. I can now use Pan, Zoom, and Rotate, then use Zoom Extents All to center the model in all views. Now add the cutters to the gems in the bail. Activate the command, add the gems to the selector, change the preset to the fourth one, and accept the command. In this case, the object layers are hidden, so show the layer. Go to the Solid tab and use the Boolean difference command. Select the bail and the prongs, press Enter, then select the cutters, and press Enter to finish. The model is now fully completed. Create a beautiful render to present the model to clients. Use the new RhinoArtisan feature called Connect. Go to the Files tab and save the model. Then click on Connect. When the Collections window appears, select the one needed, in this case, RhinoArtisan Tutorial, which was created beforehand in Connect. Once the model has been uploaded to Connect, it will open automatically in the new application. To add materials, simply select the gems and go to the Gem Materials tab. Apply a lighter emerald material and also apply it to the rest of the gems. For the central gem, apply a citrine material. For the bail, use the metal materials, choosing rose gold, and for the rest of the metal parts, apply white gold. By clicking on Rotate, see the entire model rotating automatically. Another great feature is changing the background. Choose a salmon color for the floor. And there it is. The model is completely finished. Now export the video or image as you wish to present it to clients. For more information about Connect, feel free to visit our website.